Hello, what is up again, guys? My name is Mike Warrior, and this is a Radical Academy. And in this video, we'll be looking at concentration under chemistry. So, in some other videos that posted, we have talked about the Moore concept as a topic. Now, in this video, we'll be looking at concentration of a solution. Okay, so we are going to define what we mean by concentration. We are also going to define some of the formulas the formulas that you can use under concentration, probably the two most common formulas. And then from there, we shall also do some, quick examples so that you can also, cement and just, have the deep understanding of what we mean by the concentration of a solution or the molarity and anything within that boundary. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that whenever I post a video, you'll be the first person to be notified. You're not going to miss any single update, any single video that I'll be able to upload. Okay, so we are going to define what is concentration. Now, I want you to understand that this is normally very simple, because all you have to understand is that when we are talking about a concentration, we are talking about some form of substance which is a solid. We are also talking about a solvent in which a solid is going to dissolve, so that at the end of the day, we are going to make something that we are calling a solution. Okay. Now, here's the definition of what concentration means. Okay, so we are saying that this is the amount of solid in grams or moles. Okay, so for those of you who have watched the video before that I've posted, that I did post about how to calculate the number of moles, please make sure you check out that video, because you are not going to understand how you can be able to calculate the number of moles in a particular substance or an element or anything that you want to calculate. So I really encourage you that you go to some of the videos that I've done concerning this topic, the Moore concept, so that you're able and acquaint yourself with the formulas that you can use in order to find the number of moles of something. Okay, now concentration, this is the amount of solid in grams. Okay, so we are talking about mass or moles. That means the number of moles. The number of moles. Okay. That is dissolved, okay, so that is dissolved in 1 decimeter cubic of solution. Okay, so we are saying that, for example, I'll give an example. Let's say if I get this maybe a substance in form of liquid. Okay, so you discover that you are going to discover that this is Oracle, pure glycerin, and it is a 50 milliliter, okay, or 50 mils of volume, okay, 50 mils. That is the volume, okay. Now, let me see if I'm able to find the mass of this. Okay, so this is just the volume, how much of the liquid filled up the bottle. But anyway, what I want you to understand is that concentration is amount of solid, meaning something that dissolves in the solvent, okay, or the moles that is dissolved in 1 decimeter cubic of solution. Okay, so that's what you should be able to understand about that. Okay, now in that case, the formula concentration. The formula now of concentration can be given as, meaning mass, okay, let's just say, so the solute over the solution, okay. Okay, so now this solute can be mass, and then this one, it is the volume. Okay, so that's how you can be able to understand the formulas. So solid over solution which is the mass over the volume. Okay. Okay, so now we've got some examples that you are going to go through. So I have two examples that I want you to understand. So I really want you to pay attention so that we can know how you can be able to answer these questions where concentration is concerned. So now let's jump into these questions. Okay, so the first question is saying, if copper 2 sulfate has a mass of 2.5 grams and dissolves in a solution of volume 10 cubic decimeter, find the concentration of this solution. So we need to find the concentration of the solution given that the solid that was being dissolved in this solution was copper 2 sulfate. Now again, let's now go to number 2. You're saying that sodium chloride has a mass of 5 grams. If it dissolves in water of volume 20 cubic centimeters, what is the concentration of this solution that is formed? Okay, so now what I want you to understand is that there is a formula. There are two formulas. Okay, so I'll show you the first formula that we can use to find the concentration, and then I'll also show you the second formula just in case we have not been given the mass of the substance or the solid that you are looking at, but instead you have been given the number of moles of that substance. So I want you to pay attention so that you can understand what we are going to do and how you can be able to answer these simple questions. Okay, so now let's jump now into the answering of the questions. Okay, so for number 1, we are saying that we have been given copper 2 sulfate. So I also encourage you that you also understand the chemical formulas, okay, for copper 2 sulfate, okay, because in the next example we are going to look at how you can find the concentration of something when you have only been given the number of moles. So we need to also understand how we can be able to find the concentration given the number of moles other than the mass. Okay. So from there now we are going to say that we have the data. So we have the data. So we are saying that the mass of copper 2 sulfate. So the mass of copper 2 sulfate, which is going to be then also volume Okay, so make sure that you collect the information. Like here, I'm collecting the information, which is the mass of copper 2 sulfate 2.5, and then also we have, for example, the volume also of the solution, which is 10 decimeter cubic. Okay, now from there we are now going to say, so concentration so now the mass is 2.5 grams over so this is now going to be okay. So that's the answer. So this is just a simple formula. So I'm just trying to give you the basic fundamentals of how you can how you can calculate concentrations and how you can be able to use the first formula that we are talking about. Okay. So now concentration equals to the mass, the volume, and then the mass that we have is 2.5, and then the volume is at 10 grams at decimeter cubic, and then now finally the final answer is 0.25 grams per cubic decimeters. Okay, and then now that's how you can simply answer the question of number 1. Okay, so that's the answer for question number 1. Now, so let's jump to number 2. Now, number 2 is a very bit trick, because the volume isn't in the standard unit, okay, that we expected. So as from actually seeing that number 1, the volume should be in cubic decimeters, but for number 2, they gave us the volume in cubic centimeters. Okay, so the standard unit of volume, okay, it's either a decimeter cubic or a liters. Okay, so make sure you understand that, because normally this is even in the real world. When you are going to the market, maybe you are going to shopping or in any shop that you might go, you'll discover that when you are buying maybe a container of cooking oil or anything that is in liquid form, you're going to discover that the volume of that particular container, that regardless of the product that you're buying, the unit of that volume is normally liters. Okay, so the liter and the cubic decimeter are just one and the same thing. Okay, so now in this question number 2, the volume was given in cubic centimeters, so we have to change that from cubic centimeters to cubic decimeters. Okay, so I want you to understand how can you do that. Okay, so just follow me as I show you how to change from cubic centimeters to cubic decimeters. Okay, but before we do that, we have to understand what are the unit conversions. Okay, so 1, okay. Now, the first thing that you're supposed to understand is that one decimeter cubic, okay, is always equal to 1 liter. Okay, so 1 decimeter cubic is the same as 1 liter. 5 decimeter cubic is the same as 5 liters. Okay, and then now 1 cubic decimeter is, in terms of centimeters, this is going to be 1,000. Okay, so 1 cubic decimeter equals to 1,000. 1,000 cubic centimeters. Okay, so that is centimeters or centimeters. Okay, and then I think that's it. And then also we have, which is going to be, I think you wrote somewhere. This should be written somewhere. Then okay, so I want you to understand that you have to be careful. Okay, so this is a simple thing. So 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1 liter. 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1,000 cubic centimeters. 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1. Okay, so now to find to answer question 2, after now going through these conversion units, 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1 liter, and then 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1,000 centimeter cubic. Then 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so those are the units of conversion concerning volume. If you are given any of the volume, make sure that you change the volume to the standard unit. Okay, so if you're talking about any kind of volume that you're talking about, as long as it is volume, the units should be in a decimeter cubic or in liters, because 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1 liter. Now let's jump now into the final part of the question, the final part of the question, which is a question 2. Now I have already gathered the data, which is we have been told that the solid, okay, that dissolves in the water is 5 grams, and then also the volume is 20 cubic centimeter. So we have to change this mass and then turn it into decimeter cubic from the concept that we have talked about. Okay. So now what you need to understand is you have this part, which is this part. Okay. So 1 decimeter cubic equals to 1,000 decimeter, equals to 1,000 centimeters. From there now, what about, so x equals to 20, okay, you do like that. Now from there again, what you do is say this times that, x, meaning 1,000 x equals to 20. And then from there we are going to divide both sides by 2. Okay, so you divide both sides by 2. So, you divide both sides by 1,000, not by 2, okay? So, 1,000 x equals to 20. So, our x is going to be 0.02. Okay. So what you have just done is we have just converted the units into decimeter cubic. Now we can go back to the question and now find out the final answer of what is the solution. What is the concentration. So we are going to use that volume of 0.02 cubic decimeter. Okay. So now finally, we are going to use now the formula concentration equals to mass over volume. And by the way, this is just the shortest, the handwritten concentration instead of writing the word concentration. So we just short write it to concentration. Okay. So the mass is 5 grams over 0.02 decimeter. So what we get now is the final answer will be, so the final answer will be 5 by 1. Okay, so the final answer will be 250 grams. So that's the final answer, and that's how you can answer question 2. So make sure that when you have the units in the wrong format, make sure that you format them to the standard units. The units of volume is decimeter cubic. So make sure that you understand that. Okay. So now finally, let us now go to the second part of the second formula of concentration. Okay. And this formula is that if you have not been given the number of moles, okay. If you have not been given the mass of the substance, but you have been given the moles, okay. So how do we find the concentration of that? Okay.